how to solve two-step equations. First, let's review solving one-step equations because that's going to be useful for solving two-step equations. So we're going to solve 8 plus c equals 17 and 2/10. So we're going to solve that for c, meaning we want to know what does c have to be to make that statement true. So what we have here is plus 8. To solve the equation, we do the opposite, and the opposite of addition is to take away 8 from both sides of the equation. 8 minus 8 cancels out, leaving just c on the left side, and 17 and 2/10 minus 8 whole is 9 and 2/10. We can check our work by taking this value of c, putting it back into the equation. So we've got 8 plus 9 and 2/10, and we'll know if it's true if it ends up equaling 17 and 2/10. We got 2/10, 8 plus 9 is 17 and 2/10. So c definitely equals 9 and 2/10. Okay, one more. We got 7d equals 2.1. We need to solve for d. If you don't see the symbol in between a number and a variable, it always means multiplication. So we've got 7 times d equals 2 and 1/10. The opposite of that is to divide both sides by 7. 7 divided by 7 is 1d, equaling 7 goes into 2 and 1/10, 0, 3/10. 7 times 3/10 is 2 and 1/10, so this answer is correct. Now solving two-step equations is a little more complicated and is a lot like revealing the ingredients in my special Dagwood burger. The last ingredients put on the burger are going to be the first ones to come off. So the last thing I put on this burger was the top bun. I take that off first. And there are the pickles. Take off the pickles, that reveals the bacon. Take off the bacon, that reveals the egg. We solve equations the same way. The last thing we would normally do is the first thing that we have to deal with when we solve the equation. And oh look, there's an onion hidden underneath them burgers. So whatever we would normally do last, we have to do first when we solve the equation. Everything is going to be backwards. Alright, so this is a two-step problem because we've got 4 times x and we have to take away 13 and that'll equal 15. So there's 2 operations here. Now normally when you've got the order of operations, parentheses would go first, exponents would go second, multiplying and dividing would go third, adding and subtracting would go last. But because we're solving this equation, we're going backwards to reveal what x is going to be equal to. We need to do the order of operations backwards. So instead of parentheses first, adding and subtracting are going to be first. So normally we would do multiplication first. But because we're going backwards, we're going to work with the subtraction. We got to do that first, and we have to do the opposite to both sides. So minus 13, we got to add 13 to both sides. And notice how I'm writing it on both sides of the equal sign. Now, a negative 13 and a plus 13, they cancel out, leaving the only thing left on the left side is 4 times x equals 15 plus 13 is 28. Now it's a one-step problem, and we know how to solve those. We do the opposite of multiply, so that's divide by 4 on both sides. So we got 4 divided by 4 is 1x equals 28 divided by 4 is 7. Now let's check our work. X is 7, so we go 4 times 7 minus 13. Order of operations is 4 times 7 happens first, so 4 times 7 is 28. 28 minus 13 is 15. So we know that we found the correct answer. X is 7. Alright, so now this one we've got 3 times y plus 11 equals 32. We need to solve for y. Now normally we would do this multiplication first, but because we're doing everything backwards to reveal what y is, we're going to work backwards and deal with the addition. The opposite of addition is to take away an 11 from both sides of the equation. So 11 minus 11 cancels out, leaving only 3y on the left side, equaling 32 minus 11 is 21. We have 3 times y. The opposite of that is to divide, and a fraction bar also means division. 3 divided by 3 is 1y equals 21 divided by 3 is 7. Let's check our work. 3 times 7 plus 11. Multiplying is first. 3 times 7 is 21. 21 plus 11 is 32. So y equals 7 is correct. Alright, for this one we need to solve for g. And we have g divided by 2 plus 5 equals 13. Normally we would do division first, but we're working backwards to solve for g. It means we need to deal with this plus sign. And we always do the opposite when we're solving. So the opposite of adding 5 is subtracting 5. That means 5 minus 5 cancels out, leaving g over 2 equals 13 minus 5 is 8. The opposite of dividing by 2 is to multiply both sides by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1g equals 8 times 2 is 16. Now let's check our work. G is 16 divided by 2 plus 5. 16 divided by 2 is 8. 8 plus 5 is definitely 13. So we found the correct number. G is definitely 16. Now that is a tasty burger.